Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However, you happen to be watching this, I got to welcome you to the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast with this week, man, we are excited because we thought the news gods wouldn't supply, and man, I was absolutely wrong. This is going to be an interesting show. Let's get right into it because we have a lot to discuss and not so much time to discuss it with, oddly enough, this week. But yes, let's get started. First, I will introduce my co-host. This week, I'm convinced he is definitely my evil twin. The man out there demanding that we have this conversation. He insisted that I call this show Charge Them More, if you know what I'm saying. Mr. Everborn Saga. What's going on?
Well, you should get that right. My current title
oh yes,
is,
please forgive me.
Elden Lord Everborn.
Elden Lord, yes. And we will talk about a little bit of that too. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes,
one of our national crises is over. I finally finished Elden Ring so I could move on to other games.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the news gods, we got all this news in the end of the week, all these things to talk about, and all we had to do was sacrifice a few virgins. So
this is how it works. Okay. It's gonna be that type of show. Understood. Okay. All right. Well, before we even get in there, I cannot even I have to introduce our guest because this seems like the gods were working in our favor. We got some slanderous news, and y'all know if you've been watching the show, you know we like to keep it slanderous. We keep it PG-13, but we like
or is that me that keeps?
Oh, I'm sorry. I like to keep it PG-13.
Okay.
Sure, but this show is known for its slanderous take. You know this show is about your weekly dose of tech, gaming news, and some slander. But this week we are dripping in sauce, gladly so. The man, you know him. He's on these streets. He's satire all over the place while slipping a little bit of a message. Pause. From Game On Daily, the aggregation site that does great work, and of course the Game On Daily YouTube channel. We have the sauce master himself today. Gaz is joining us. What's going on, good sir?
How you doing, bro? Thank you so much for the invite, man.
Man, I'm so excited to have you here. This is amazing.
Thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Sorry it took a while, but I'm here.
Oh no, this is how it works, man. And that's why I'm thinking the news gods kind of brought it together because out of nowhere, Gaz was like, "Yeah, I think I'm ready this week," and I'm like, "Of all weeks, you could be ready, good sir. This is going to be interesting."
Yep,
so definitely. No, I'm excited to have you here. We're going to get into it because, like I said, we have some topics we want to discuss. But as we start this show, as we normally do, we get into some games that we've been playing. And being our guest, Gaz, let me start with you, good sir. What has been keeping you busy this week? Don't say Halo Infinite. We'll get to that too.
I wouldn't dare. No, I have been playing Neon White, trying to beat Jeff Grubb's score. Okay. It is hard. I rank 300 in the world now, but it is hard. I'm trying to get to that top 100. I am milliseconds away from beating Jeff Grubb. Milliseconds, like 0.16 seconds. 0.016. So close. Awesome. I think I have Parkinson's from playing that game, but it's a great game.
Yeah,
you have to try me.
For those who haven't played it, it's kind of like a speedrunning kind of game. It promotes speedrunning, and the story around it is very interesting. It's got amazing voice actors from like Cowboy Bebop and other great animes, and you're just rushing through the game. I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. We'll get into that as well. I've been playing it on the Steam Deck a little bit. It's great. Like you, I've been just going through, looking at all my friend timelines, and I'm like, and shout out to I don't know if he's gonna be in here yet or not. Slow-mo backslap. He and I have been going back and forth. He's like, I can't beat anybody's time except Kei Asante, and then he tagged me in on it, try to clown me. I went in to try and beat one of his times, and I reached I don't know which stage it was. It was a glitch. A stage that averages, I think, 30 seconds to beat. I beat it in 8 seconds. I don't know how the hell I did it.
Oh, damn. So you glitched through it?
I glitched through it. I beat it in 8 seconds. I don't know how I did it. I can't do it again. And now I'm like number 9 in the world on that particular stage.
That's crazy.
I'm waiting for him to see the score and go, how the hell you do that?
I thought, because I saw that on a lot of the leaderboards, you have like these weird ones, and I'm like, obviously they're cheating, but they might be glitches.
There's some glitches in that game. There's some weirdness in that game. Yes, although I really enjoy it. It's like something happened. I jumped way over the map and literally landed on the goal right away.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Anything else you've been playing? So Neon White.
I've been playing everything. Well, my problem is I've been playing way too many different games all over the place. So that's been a bit of a problem. So I've been playing that. I've been playing whole sorts. I've been trying to get into Final Fantasy VIII again. I've been on my Steam Deck makes things easy. Although that I've been playing on PC. Installing that on Steam Deck. Deathloop. I need to get into that. Just start touching it. It's just been mad week of just random games. Completed Death's Door. Thought that was a bit overrated, to be fair.
What?
I thought it was overrated.
Got questions.
Overrated.
It's a good game, but overrated. Definitely overrated.
that was literally my favorite game of 2021.
Oh, wow. I mean, each to their own. I enjoyed it, but I thought it just got a little bit repetitive, and they could have done a lot more
when you
with it.
drop in and you don't know what to expect, you're pleasantly surprised. But when the hype gets massive and you expect something, it might let you down if it's so hyped up, because it did get hyped up.
Let me add some context. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I think, is the greatest game ever made. I don't know if
that tells you where he's coming from.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, each to their own. I mean, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the boss. I love the humor of the game. Combat was pretty decent and sound the way they did that. Quite brutal, really. I just felt like there were a few weaknesses. I won't go into too much, but very quickly, like I thought the upgrades didn't make a noticeable difference. That you upgrade your melee like range. I did it to near max, and I just didn't feel like is that massive difference. The cooldown time for the arrows and projectiles, I didn't feel it that much, but other than that, the comedy was great. The boss battles were cool. Some were really infuriating, but once you clock their patterns, it's good. Last boss was a bit underwhelming, but the theme of it was really good. The music was brilliant. It was just kind of nice to chill, sit back. So I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah.
It's about right, and I think you came to it late, so the hype was at its peak. So you expected a lot, I suspect, huh?
No, I didn't. I didn't. When I say it's overrated, I based on the testimonies of lots of people and friends, but I judged it on its own merits and whether I would like. I didn't know what to expect when I played it, actually. So it was actually more solid than I expected it to be. But the sum of the whole, it was good. It was a good game. For me, it was just like, I enjoyed it.
Before we get to you, Mr. Everborn Saga, real quick, I want to thank all the awesome people that have already pulled up. I have Lucius Augustus already in here saying, charge them more, hashtag. I have Mr. Boomstick in here. Oh, Paulie Baba's in here. A bunch of folks. J-Mo Money being ruthless already in the chat. Thank you, gentlemen, all of you for jumping in here. This is going to be a great show. Everborn Saga, ask your question and then tell us, since you got that huge Elden Ring monkey off your back, man, what have you been playing today? This week?
After Elden Ring, I've only been playing on the Steam Deck, but I will say the question for Gaz is one of the games I'm playing now. Have you tried Tunic yet?
I have tried Tunic. I have tried Tunic. I need to get into it deeper.
I want to see how you would compare it to Death's Door.
I will. I'm very early on, and I need to go back into it. So what did I unlock? Very early on into that game, probably like.
Well, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, we'll talk another time. But those are two absolutely great. Like those are like 1-man team, 2-man teams here. The stuff they can do, it just I tip my hat every time I see those games. They're absolutely fantastic. The gameplay experiences you can have for hours on end, and it was just made by one dude, like Tunic specifically. And obviously the other one was made by two individuals with some help here and there. But yeah, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So Everborn, what's been keeping you busy?
As somebody who's kind of working on some smaller game projects, looking those playing games like that is just makes you feel like, what am I doing with my life? But no, Also, I've been on the Steam Deck. I've been doing a lot of 16-bit emulation because that was the greatest era of video games. And I have been playing Shredder's Revenge, Tunic, and some Super Nintendo games.
Okay. Let's talk a little. Let's diverge a little bit on Steam Deck, just a little bit, because if I'm not mistaken, Gaz, you also are a Steam Deck user, are you not?
Yes, I have it here.
Yeah, and mine is right over there. Everyone knows how much I love Steam Deck. We can gush about it. We did a whole show on it, but Mr. Everborn Saga was a bit of a fraud that day, and he didn't show because he didn't have his Steam Deck yet. He's now playing a little bit. He's had some time with it, and I know you've been playing with it. Let's get it just about a little 2-3 minute, thoughts on it so far. I'll start with you, Everborn. Like, you've had it now. Yes, you're more full focused into the emulation part, which is also pretty good. What do you think?
So I'm first of all, it feels very good because I explained this to you. I have zero use for a mobile device, a mobile gaming device. Why? Because I work from home and I'm never really out. And so if I'm gonna play something, I can play it on the computer, which I rarely do. I'm mostly a console gamer. So for me, this was just like a FOMO buy in the beginning, right? And before it got here, because apparently my pre-order got like lost in the mail, and you guys had your Steam Decks like 5 months before me. I see you. I see you.
There it is. There it
is.
Is
Sonic, the real game. This is a real game. Sonic. I bought a Steam Deck, but I ended up playing bloody Sonic Mania, which is kind of lame.
Sonic Mania is one of the good ones. You get one good Sonic game a decade.
Yeah, but see, you know what though? I do agree with him that it's kind of lame because it's the only Sonic game that actually plays well on Switch. Nothing else really does. It's a game that actually plays well on Switch. One of those rare ones.
So I was going to sell it, and I'm like, all right, I finally got it. Let me just open it up because Kay Asante is going to kill me if I don't at least try it. And then I'm like, oh. Okay, I see what's going on. I felt like because I used to be a tinkerer, but now ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes, sir.
So now I get this thing, and Keasante's like, all right, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go and plug it into a USB-C hub, put a mouse and keyboard on it, and this thing's
I didn't say that. This is what you wanted to do.
Hold on a minute.
I helped you get it done, but I thought it's ridiculous.
No, that's not how that went. I told you at first I didn't want to do all of that, and you were like, "No, trust me, you're gonna want a mouse and keyboard."
Sure. Right? If you're getting into emulation, you need at least the keyboard and the mouse, so it doesn't you don't spend all your time fiddling with the things. Go ahead.
But the point is, it got me feeling back like the days when I used
Tinkerer days.
Yeah, when I used to care about little shit like that. So sorry, that's my one. But the point is, I feel like I wasted it too early.
You're gonna need another one later, I suspect. But continue.
We need like a swear jar. So
yes. I'm gonna work it out. Put it on the corner or something. Anytime somebody does it, we'll put one in. Yes, for sure, right. Definitely.
So and I'm trying to be succinct. But I start using it, and it just gives me all sorts of ideas for a different future that we could have. And I don't know if we're going to talk about this. Should I bring up the whole what I'd like to see happen?
I mean, you could bring it up real quick. We have some topics, but go ahead. Go ahead. Shoot. Yeah.
So I love the Steam Deck. It is amazing. And I didn't think that, and I want to be clear, I've only been playing Game Pass on it, right? I have not installed one Steam
only been yet. Cloud streaming from jump.
Cloud and emulator games.
And emulation, right? Yeah. Which means that hard drive you got is useless at this point. You don't even need the hard drive.
But I had it laying around. So you mean because I bought the
internal drive, yes.
Yeah, well, I did that because my pre-order, the site was like
it was only giving you for the big guy,
which I think was very convenient, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm saying all this to say I think it is an amazing device, and using it as an extension because this is what I wanted, right? This is my personal selfish experience for the only reason I would actually have use for a handheld is if I can continue my experience, right? Like if I game on PC is because I'm continuing my console experience. What we're talking about is
So like you're taking it with you?
cross progression, all those things. I'm playing in the living room. I switch over to the PC when I'm at work. I get a, I hope nobody that I work with is listening, but when I'm supposed to be working, I'm playing. And then, when I'm someplace else, I can just pick up a mobile device and continue there. That is the only reason that a portable device makes sense to my personal gaming habits. Yeah. So I was saying I didn't need this thing, but I've been using xCloud on it, and I've been doing that, and it's been working out really well. So it made me think, when I plugged in the USB-C hub, and now I got a mouse, keyboard, and dual monitor support, I hate Linux, and I use it for work, right? So it's not like I'm saying, oh, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to use it. I just don't like it, right? What I do like, because I'm used to it, is Windows. I would love for the Surface division to make one of these and pitch it as a new hybrid device. It is a PC. You just plug it into your USB-C hub. You're in desktop mode. It's a regular Windows PC.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm talking to you, JMO Money. I need you to clip this, because remember, I was saying this on the show with Delilah HD, and I was looked at like a geek, a nerd, and in the worst possible way. Get out of here with that BS. Nobody, and now we hear Mr. Everborn Saga. Woohoo! All right, let's continue. I'm sorry I had to do that. I'm petty.
Pictures or it didn't happen. But the point is, I would love for Panos Panay to get together with Phil Spencer and do a dual device. Like, you have a gaming mode like the Steam Deck, and that's like your Xbox UI. Then you press one button, or you just plug it into the hub, and now you're a PC. And all your games would come from the Windows Store. And I know the Windows Store sucks for games, like if you're on PC, but you should be able to install Steam.
Getting better. They've slowly started getting away from the UWP stuff. Now it's getting more normal. So over time, it'll get better.
I think this is a new category of computer in the same way the Surface was a new category.
My job is done here. So mission accomplished. This is amazing. I can't believe I'm hearing this.
To me, awesome. Even more than the gaming aspect, like pitching this as, if you're a gamer, this is your hybrid device, as opposed to like a tablet PC. I think it's super.
Take this to college. You get there, you plop it down on your USB-C hub, your mouse, your keyboard, your screen lights up, and you're working on your regular normal machine, like as if it's a desktop. I said this. I'm telling you, it changes your mind when you start playing with it.
Surface is king of magnetic attachments. They can put a little magnetic keyboard cover kind of thing on it.
So the dock would be great. That's right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I don't want to take away from the Steam Deck because it's amazing. It just
makes me
think of what could a future of devices like this be like, and I'd love one from Windows.
Yes, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of people say the same thing. I think the Steam Deck gives you a lot of the vibes of Xbox should have done this, because when you look at Steam Deck and its form factor, it does kind of you kind of look at it like, this is what an Xbox handheld should feel and look like. Yeah. Big chunky beast, but
I see it's a chunky boy until you grab it, and then you're just like,
huge. Oh, you already used my one. Sorry,
you already used your one. Do you only get one? I'll try.
Oh no, you get a few. We just clown you for it. It's okay. Go ahead. No, but it's interesting, right? You see it, and you're used to Switch, and you're just like, hey, this thing is the massive, and then you grab it, and you're like, no, it's not. It's actually perfect in the hand.
I find it more comfortable than the Switch. Yes, I find it definitely more. I play Smash Brothers quite competitively. Well, I did I used to get hand cramps on Switch because I just found it small. This is perfect. It's actually.
So my question to you, sir, is: have you played Smash Brothers on the Switch? I mean, on the Steam Deck.
What? Oh, you mean through emulator? No, I haven't.
Because it's quite an experience.
I don't even know how to get emulators on there. I need to look into that.
Oh, we'll have a conversation, sir. If you want to play Breath of the Wild at 60 frames, there's only one device for you, and it's not a Nintendo device.
Is it actually buggy, or it works quite well?
It's beautiful. It's quite beautiful. It's smooth as butter. It's great. It's great.
And Gaz, here's the important thing. It's completely legal.
And it's completely legal, yes.
Just buying games from the Nintendo store and then loading them to the Steam Deck. And
there's a process. You have to dump it, you have to decrypt it, and then Steam Deck can use it. But it's still your game, and you're allowed to do so. So there you go.
That's very mad. Okay, we need to talk after the shows. Then
we'll have a conversation. Yes, indeed. Real quick for me, I won't even get into it. Y'all know my love for the Steam Deck. It's been well documented. There's a show about it. We love that thing. I've been playing, oddly enough, Far Cry 5 because I hadn't really played that. And it kind of came out on, I think it came out on the Game Pass. And I've actually had this game for years, but then I heard it came on Game Pass. I'm like, hey, I've actually not played this. And oddly enough, I was like, okay, I'll install it on my PC. So this is the PC version of it. It's fun, it's cool, but I see why people kind of came and went. It's just the tried and true formula. Graphics look good and all that, but yeah, it was a little. I thought I'd give it about an hour, and I did. And then after I moved on, and never really thought to look back. But it's an interesting game. And I've also, and this will diverge from our games we've been playing topic to a bit of the news. I've also been playing a bit of Halo. Why? Because you hear that they're doing the whole Halo's coming back. They got the multiplayer, the co-op, I should say. Co-op games going on.
I'm gonna go to sleep, and then you can wake me when the next campaign.
No. You will not go to sleep. I bet you will not go to sleep because I've heard Gaz talk about his relationship with Halo. I've heard him talk, and I know how you feel about Halo. So I think this will be a nice little on ramp to the news of the day, of the news topics we want to discuss. Real quick though, before we get to that, I promised some folks in the chat that I would quickly mention, since we are a gaming show, gaming show, and gaming TV shows tend to come out, and we want to talk about it. We talked about the Halo show as it came out. If you haven't done so, believe it or not, the Resident Evil show on Netflix is actually pretty good.
I heard about this, and I after I finished For All Mankind last night, because we had a deploy yesterday that started at like 6:30 a.m. and it was going until midnight.
So you're saying your company crunches you? I'm sorry.
Yeah. We can talk about it. But I watched For All Mankind, and then I saw that, and I heard everything, and I was gonna start watching it, but I'm like, if I start watching this, I'm not gonna sleep until Sunday.
Good.
So
like, I understand that most people will clown it because it is the umpteenth attempt, and every time they try, it's like, this one, I'm kind of like, yo, they're taking it seriously. They're doing it not for the tongue-in-cheek ridiculousness. Some of the lines, you expect the ridiculous lines and stuff from Resident Evil. It's actually a serious horror flick kind of thing. It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. They're basically talking you through the moments of the beginning while also jumping into the future and what's going on. It's pretty good. I don't know where it'll end. Right? I'm sorry?
It's supposed to be Wesker's daughter, right?
Wesker's daughter. And you know who's playing Wesker?
No, I don't.
You don't know? Okay, I'll leave that one alone. You look it up. It's chef's kiss. Very good. Like, very good. Like an actor's actor. Very good. So yes, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I mean, the end might still fall apart. I haven't gotten all the way to the end yet, but so far, from where Resident Evil has started in my psyche, this is a step above all the others that I've seen. This is actually playing it for real. This is the Batman Begins of Resident Evil. I'm just like, okay.
All right. Well, I mean, considering where we've been with Resident Evil movies, a step up.
Yeah, it's a low bar, very low bar. But yes, let's get back on track. Halo campaign co-op. Any of you gentlemen thinking of even trying it?
Yeah, I just logged into Halo Waypoint and I got a Steam key, so I'm gonna do it on there. The problem is it's flighting. You have to download a separate client, and none of the progress carries on. So maybe I might do it, but I might just wait for the final thing because I've completed everything on Legendary. I want to kind of do it where it has meaning. So me and my friends or Colt, we just jump in and play this together like we were supposed to 9 months ago. So let's see what happens. But
see, exactly. Yes. So Everborn, how about you, sir? Are you planning on even?
I would just like to point out how absurd it is that if I don't have Game Pass or I didn't buy this game, I can't play it.
Oh no, Lord, here we go.
Oh, what a piece of
Indeed. See, that is perfect. You can get away with all of them if you do that. It's amazing. Yes.
No, I said this before, and people thought I was like full of it. I have no interest in campaign co-op. I absolutely love the campaign. I don't care what anybody says. I thought the campaign was fantastic. I don't care about multiplayer because I don't like people. So this is why I said release the game, because selfishly I knew I was. I mean, I feel for you guys, like empathy, whatever I'm supposed to say that. But
whatever I'm supposed to say,
right? But it's a solo campaign for me. So and there's things I don't like. I understand the way the story is designed. It would have to be copies of Master Chief without changing what the story was. However, like. It's disappointing, because if you play, Halo 5, the team, the co-op is built into the story. You're running around with Team Osiris and Blue Team. So for me, it's just like, okay, there's a bunch of Master Chiefs, which is weird. And if you are going to do that, then you should have just let everybody wear their multiplayer costumes, which maybe they will at some point, who knows. But I'm just like, what I wanted co-op to be, since it took this long, and I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. I said, listen, and I said this.
Don't ever do that with 343.
Giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Hold on, listen to this. Tell me this wouldn't be good. Okay, your campaign was what it was, right? But if you played that game, you know that Lasky had another mission that he sent the rest of Blue Team on. And we don't know what Team Osiris.
We don't know what happened there.
So what if the co-op...
Way too much credit to 343.
What if the co-op was a new campaign DLC that was a co-op mission with the rest of Blue Team, not the Chief?
That would require them to
were competent as developers to build that.
Okay. The word "Gaz on Daily" does not represent.
Listen, that would have brought me back. This doesn't bring me back. Right, I'm not going back to Halo until they have a new campaign update.
I agree with you. It is disappointing
all the time. They're doing the bare minimum, and then less than that, because it's been 9 months. You got a flighting for it. This isn't how you release things. Like, why does everything need a flight? Or why can't you release it? You're so incapable to release a feature set that was enjoyable in Halo 3 day one, 4-player co-op at launch, and now you're doing a flighting for this, and you're going to make 100 million exclusives. It's just, and I'm sure people are sick of me on Halo, but it's really sad. It's really sad to me, and this is my beloved franchise.
See, look at this. Look at this. Look at where we are with Halo. This is a delay Halo guy with release Halo guy on the same show. I expected to go grab my popcorn, sparks flying. Everyone agrees now. This sucks, man. Come on.
Yeah, because they finally got it. Now
There's no defending.
I was right the whole time.
I still think they should have released the campaign. Goddamn it! I loved it. I love the campaign. The rest of it can kick rocks. I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at Twitch. I'm looking at the Xbox. Where is Halo? It's so far down. I can't find it.
They did not have enough chambers in the gun. They should have definitely not released it with drips and drabs of content. Like, that's not what you do in free to play. Even though, again, like Everborn, I tend to be a campaign gamer. I'm not too much multiplayer. I'll play co-op with the friends, but if I'm playing Halo, I'm playing it by myself. I've played the Master Chief Collection for like 5 years straight, over and over and over again. I never play with anybody else. I only play the campaigns all the way through. So I hear you, and I agree with you on that. But yeah, I still
Sonic Mania has more viewers on Twitch.
There you go.
Halo.
There you go.
It went so far down. I went back up. So I missed it. Went down.
I had to go all the way to the bottom to find it.
Scroll 400 viewers.
I will stand with those who the camp that says delay, because if you're going to release a free-to-play game, free-to-play games come with constant content drops. And if you're not ready to do that, then maybe you wait until you have a lot more in the chamber before you start doling it out. So I do agree with you on that one, right? So
I see Slow-Mo has entered the chat.
Slow-Mo is in the chat.
343 incompetent.
And by the way, Slow, you totally missed the quick small Steam Deck segment where he completely turned around. Go back to the beginning. It's amazing. Somebody needs to clip that one. I'm not letting that one go. But yes, Halo's multiplayer. Where do we see this thing going? Like, they're now flighting the co-op. I expect in a month, 2 months, we see it drop. Do we there was rumors of possibly they're gonna drop classic maps along with normal maps to kind of fill in the gaps. That came and Went. Like Joe Statham talked about that potentially heading towards the game, the what do you call it, the gaming events of June, and then it came and went, and 343 was this whisper in the wind. Nobody heard from them. So where after this is done, what do we expect to see next?
I don't know. Because is there any world where this thing can turn around and become a Sea of Thieves? Is that, or is that? I know, because right now we're fog of war, right? It all sucks right now. We're in the middle of it, and everything just feels like, and a lot of the times just is bad news, right? But is there a world a year from now where they finally get through this and we can see 25 million players in Halo? Is that a thing that could ever happen with this?
What do you think?
If you get rid of 343, then perhaps they might do that. But the team is it's a big fat L unless they have a fundamental shift in management to actually take this seriously in the way that the community deserves.
Also, management that wouldn't let that Bonobo thing come out, but we can talk about that later.
It's so funny. I saw some journalists calling out other journalists for integrity, and in my opinion, they've never had any just constantly defending Halo. I've got clips of them constantly defending Halo, saying stop attacking 343 for being critical. It says don't stop it. I've seen people go after 343. This person says stop it, and what the reason why I mentioned that is some people have excused it. The so-called big Halo fanatics, they've excused the failures so much. What I'm afraid of is, well, not afraid of, but what's going to happen is they're going to do a final map release and everyone's going to proclaim it's okay, completely forgetting the high standards the game and IP once commanded and where it should be. It should be leading the way. Halo should be leading the way in first-person shooters. So what happened where we're so dejected and so quick to accept such morsels given in trying to break even with the content to match what it was decades ago? That's the frustrating part of me. People may be frustrated at me on Halo Infinite. I'm way more frustrated at all of you that defend it, not you here, whoever, who will continue defending Halo and then try and curtail any attempts at deriding or critiquing 343. Those people I can't stand.
Where the only pushback I'll give you on that, guys, only one I'll give you on that is, I think being critical of 343, fair game. Being critical of the Halo release and all of this, absolutely fair game. But this is the internet. This is Twitter, and junk starts flying. And when I mean junk, I mean actual, literally your junk starts being sent to people.
God of War got a release date. Start sending it to bloody Xbox Studio so we can get Fable release date and Hellblade 2. Don't do that.
I think that's probably why people defend 343, because there's a thin line in being critical of the content and actually getting to a place where you're going beyond the pale, and a lot of people don't seem to know where that line is. So I think that's why folks defend 343 a bit, and I'm on that page too. If the content's not where you want it to be, you have every right to say that. You have every right to give them
I'm
the right
talking about
to smoke,
some journalists who claim to be journalists who have from day dot said don't call them out. And I wouldn't mention names. They are in the community in the circle. But one day I will clap them so hard they get too bold. Well, calling.
I'm looking forward to the Sauce video of that one. Then,
there'll be.
Whenever they come out, I just have to sit back and wonder who's getting crucified this week. But yes, no, but you know what it is. If somebody deserves it, we'll give it to him. We'll give it to him here as well. But keep your junk in your pocket, people. Just keep it in there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs we don't need to see that.
I'm just gonna throw the pause out there because I feel like
it's just an indefinite pause at this point. Okay. But we will move on because yes, we don't want to get into the junk territory. But speaking of Halo, we have now heard that PlayStation has officially completed the acquisition of Destiny or Destiny Studio Bungie. Or would you say that backwards? That Destiny has finally gotten their seat. They're sitting down. PlayStation is rubbing their feet. Can I give you some more, sir? Come on, and I'm being jokes, but Bungie is out there, man. they are one of the stable workers who somehow has the keys to the kingdom and is able to drive the owner's car all the time. Like, they've done it multiple times. I don't know how the hell they do it, but they've somehow been able to be like, oh yeah, you know, we are backed by this monster organization. Doesn't mean nothing. You act up and we out. And they're still able to do that. And here we are with this one. What do you think, guys?
So a lot of people automatically assume that I hold Bungie in high regard because they create the last best Halo. But Bungie, to me, also have faltered massively with Destiny, because what Destiny was and could have potentially been, and what was promised initially, it's a shadow of what was promised. Destiny 2 is glorified expansion that I actually boycotted and I haven't played to this day because I thought.
Oh, so you have not played Destiny 2 at all?
Not at all, and that's one of the few games I voted with my wallet, because I was like, this is an expansion pack. You don't even have the courtesy to even add dedicated servers on multiplayer, and you're just selling me this. And I got burnt so many times on the expansions for Destiny. I really did play Destiny 1 a lot. I just felt like, no, and we've heard now that big reason of that was a combination of Activision being greedy, pushing and pressurizing Bungie to do things a certain way. I want to see what Bungie does with it on its own 2 feet with the PlayStation. PlayStation in this case this is going to be a very interesting dynamic between PlayStation and Bungie, because PlayStation desperately need Bungie to do something.
This is why I'm saying they're now they're probably sitting on Jim Ryan's desk. He's rubbing their feet. What can we get you, sir? How can we help you? Do you want something else?
That's a good analogy.
All the while Naughty Dog is sitting there going, come on, dog. We brought you here. We brought you here. So what's going on?
The match. Shut up. Naughty Dog. Anyway, hi, Bungie. Like, let's massage your shoulders. What's this online stuff? We clearly don't know what we do in the online space. Exactly. Let me massage your shoulders and have a look at what you guys are doing. And that's a good analogy, because I think they will. I think Bungie seemed to have quite a lot of autonomy as well. They, I think they talked about, I think Bungie were on some political position on something. I think it was abortion rights or something. Yes, PlayStation remained silent. None of the social media things said anything, but Bungie did. And I think it was against their company policy, or they broke the mold there. And then they've also very quickly come out when this was finalized to say, I think someone was responding saying, I can't wait for your PlayStation exclusives. And they said very clearly, no, we are not doing exclusives. Everything that's available will be available on all platforms. So the power dynamic is a great point that you raised, Asante. It's amazing.
It's amazing how they're able to get away with that.
How are the other studios going to feel? How the other studios going to feel?
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. All the while you got Naughty Dog, you got, all these other Insomniac, how much they paid for Insomniac. Insomniac literally carrying the PS5 like right here on their back for as long as they have. And then this
still up.
Man, I'm surprised. I'm really intrigued at the dynamic there. Go ahead, everyone.
So, I was saying Bungie is a wild stallion. You can't control her. She only lets you ride her from time to time. You understand?
Wow. Okay.
When she's done with you, it's a flick of the pony hair and she's gone. Now,
I see what you're doing there. Come on now.
The thing is, speaking of the other studios, so for one thing, there's the other studios, but the other is any future, Sony acquisitions, because now that this is done, they're free to kind of move on their other targets, right?
Yep.
And
you saw how closely Haven and Bungie kind of closed right next to each other.
Yeah, but Haven was like there. You buy Haven with pocket change, right? They don't have an IP yet. That's not against anything against Jade Raven.
No, it's just business. Yeah, it's just how the business works. Yeah.
When you buy in this industry, if you're buying a studio or a publisher, the value of that studio or publisher will be based on the value of the IPs it holds. If not, you're basically just hiring people, right? So Destiny, for all its faults, is a proven IP. It's $1 billion IP or whatever, right? At the time when they bought Insomniac, again, it's different money. It wasn't acquisition season back then, but they didn't have any IPs. Like Insomniac is huge for IPs that they don't really own. They own it now because they're a part of Sony. But I'm saying when they bought them, you love Insomniac because they did Spider-Man. You love Insomniac because of what they did with Ratchet and Clank.
Well, they were prolific before their purchase.
How many of the IPs that were owned by them were like, massive IPs? And I'm not saying that to discount them. I'm just saying I see a lot of people.
So what you're saying is you clowning Sunset Overdrive. Okay,
I'm saying Sunset Overdrive didn't set the world on fire in terms of
it did not turn into Spider-Man. That's for sure.
Right.
It's
so the point is they were able to smartly, rightly, shrewdly get Insomniac for the price they did because they didn't have IPs. You have to pay this money to Bungie, one, because your competitor could potentially at any moment they decide take your biggest moneymaker or second biggest moneymaker off the table for you. So they were in sort of a bind. They needed to get the deal done. And Bungie has created Halo, which was in its heyday the biggest IP in all of gaming. And now they've created Bungie, which is still, after 10 years, a top tier shooter.
I'm sorry. I have to laugh because usually it's not even the comment, but it's who it's coming from, and he's so underspoken, so level-headed, so soft-spoken. I could just imagine him right now. Fuzzy Belvedere, shout out to you, going, Bungie's for the streets, baby.
Absolutely. So I say all that to say, the 3.6 billion in the situation that we find ourselves in today, it made sense to me, right? So that's and it's pocket change when is
not for Sony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was saying pockets changing in comparison to the Activision deal. But I still don't is Bungie worth half of what Microsoft paid for ZeniMax?
Is Bungie worth half? No. They overpaid. Yeah. It's a desperation move.
You do have the main topic of value being subjective.
No. So
Sony knows, damn, we got screwed on that deal.
All these years, people were saying, they need a first-person shooter that they make, right? And they were like, no, because we got the COD deal, and now you may not have that in the future. So
you done
now. But that being said, as they move forward, now that they're free to, pursue other targets. Can you really go to Capcom? I mean, maybe you can go to Square because Square is just, Square. But can you really go to Capcom and say, we gave Bungie all this freedom, but now we're going to tell you have to make exclusives?
Exactly. Yeah. I wonder how this moves forward, right? I wonder, we're all in that world of, it's only a matter of time till Square becomes a first party or whatever, right? And yes, like you said, Square tends to be what they tend to do, but in general,
you mean they tend to do what they're told. But anyway,
well, that's neither here nor there. But in general, right? How are you going to tell a studio to go the way you want them to go when there's already a precedent of you basically letting Bungie do whatever they choose to do contractual wise, right? Yes, they'll help you grow, but they get to put games wherever they want. So how can you then buy another studio or buy whoever you choose to buy and go, nah, man, your PC days, well, not PC because they're still in PC. Your Xbox days are over. That's a question, right? That's a question. And I mean, let's be honest here. Most Xbox fans are real Xbox fans, and most PlayStation fans are just quote unquote gamers because there's far more PlayStation people than there are of Xbox people. That is a known thing. That's true. But still, if a studio wants to do something and you go, nah, man, we own you now, which is business, it's part of business, right? What's to say they go, well, what happened there? Maybe we want the same kind of deal, and if we don't get that deal, we want to charge you more because you're forcing us to forego, being able to develop and release everywhere. It's an interesting place we find ourselves.
The 3.6 billion was basically tuition fees so that Bungie could teach them how to make
multiplayer. Yeah, that's true. It's about growth. Yes, absolutely. Very true. Okay. Well, it will be interesting to see, and I want to move on to more hairy topics, we'll say. But before then, since we do have the Elden Lord in the spot, I must quickly bring up the Elden Ring leak. Everyone, you check this out. Have you seen this?
I heard about it, but I didn't look too far into it because I can't. Okay. I cannot let myself get caught back into Elden
Long
Ring.
Story short, there's been a leak, ransomware. Even users are affected, unfortunately, in certain respects. Some of the user data was out there as well, and with that comes like a projection of games to be coming and DLC to be coming, and yeah, it dropped the Elden Ring release date for Barbarians of the Badlands, and shout out to Slow Mo Backslap for a poignant take. The name sucks, absolutely. But yes.
So, and just so you know, Gaz, if you haven't been following along, Elden Ring was the only game I played for like 4 months. That's it.
I don't blame you.
I'm finally free of it, and seeing this, like I kind of got the shakes when I heard there was another thing coming, because then it was like, this is gonna be the only game I'm playing for the next 2 years. And
I need to complete this game as well, bro.
Oddly enough, guys, I am not at the Elden Lord. I put 50 hours into it, and then I went, yeah, I'm going back to Horizon Forbidden West, and I've put almost 200 hours into Forbidden West.
Indeed. If you told me that, I would have agreed to come to this show. How dare
I had to do it, and it's buggy as heck. When I first started that game, I almost lost 100-hour save, like ridiculous. And then of course they uploaded a new version, and it saved it, and my save came back. That game is awesome, even though it's buggy, and I say it softly because I know Elden Ring will take the cake this year, and it should. But I love Horizon Forbidden. I really do.
Slow-mo, you are 100% right for once. I do have PTSD from the Fire Giant. But also, fun fact, I still haven't beaten Melina.
Oh, and you beat the game without being Melina. Oh, well, that's optional, wasn't it?
Yeah, that cheating is... Okay.
So do any of these games on this list excite us? Like 3 Dragon Ball games. We see it already.
That means a half of one of them will be good. I'm just looking at the ratio of Dragon Ball games.
Tekken 8 for sure.
Tekken 8 looks interesting. Sure. Yeah. I'm excited to see
Tekken 7 was mad. That was a massive success. I'm a big Tekken guy. I fell off Tekken 7. People are mad at Tekken now, and I do want to get back into it.
If you're a fighting game fan, you're playing Mortal Kombat. You're not playing anything at all. Like everybody else has they're a shell of their former selves. Unfortunately, we'll see what Street Fighter does.
Yeah, Street Fighter. I mean, Street Fighter I think will make a big splash definitely this year. Tekken 8, I'm very intrigued to see because they're coming off a high in the pro gaming circuit. It's been massive. It's the most successful Tekken has ever been in its history. So I'm desperately looking forward to what they do. Tekken 8. The rest of that, I mean, Armored Core, old school. I used to play it on PlayStation once or twice, but I always want to get into it. It's a time sink. It's more of a cool game. I'm glad to see it back.
Yeah.
Digimon absolutely. Story, Cyber Sleuth 2 probably has a better story than Halo, so that's definitely something. The rest.
I like the story for Halo Infinite.
Yeah, well,
I like the potential of the story for Halo Infinite. I enjoyed the playthrough of it, but I do see a lot of instances where you told me instead of showing me, and that bothered me. That bothered me. A lot of voiceover work. A lot of holograms. There's guns over there shooting, bang, 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 but you never actually showed that to me, and I would have loved to see that. That's where my lies, But no, I agree with you guys. To me, this seems like par for the course for Bandai Namco. They are definitely. I do hear they're doing another. They didn't do Tales. The other one, the competitor. I played through it. I really enjoyed it. I forget the name of it right now. Come on, chat. You can help me with that. Dang it. What's the name of the game? They both came out.
I know what you're talking about. I bought it on day one, and then it came into Game Pass later.
And it came into Game Pass. And it's absolutely amazing a game.
Yeah, I can't think of it. It was Slow-mo's favorite game last year, I think.
Yes. And I saw him playing it as well. They're doing another one of that, which, hey, and it's pretty good. So I'm excited to see that. They have an anime series already around it. I know. Oh, Scarlet Nexus. Thank you, JMO Money. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
Scarlet Nexus. Yeah. So I'm excited to see that's also in the works. So hey, Code Vein. They're doing another Code Vein game. I'm not surprised at any of this news. What surprises me actually is I expected them to button down the hatches and go, dang, this Elden Ring thing has sold more than any other game ever for us. How about we button down the hatches, get rid of everything else, and make another one happen immediately? Get it closer to release. But it looks like they're trying to shoot for the end of their fiscal year before the next fiscal starts. So hey, we'll see where that goes. But I'm excited for those who are excited for it. I'll be honest, that monkey is not on my back just yet. I might actually retry playing Elden Ring, but I'll do it on the Steam Deck this time and see if that changes my enjoyment of it. Believe it or not, I've tried Final Fantasy Remake like for years. I played it on PS5, played it on PS4, played it on PC, did not care for it. On Steam Deck, I'm almost all the way through. Because I can start. I can.
So I need to get that. I need to get that. I'm going to play on Steam. See,
it's cool.
That's the thing. Steam Deck makes me want to play games I wouldn't play on a PC or on PlayStation. I just want to lay in bed and just kind of play that.
Exactly. And sometimes I look at myself being very foolish. I'm like playing like this, and I take it with me where I go with the kids and all this, and then the kids go upstairs, and then I'm finally sitting in the living room and I'm playing again, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at my OLED, looking at my OLED, like 65-inch OLED, I'm like, what is wrong with you, fool? Yes, that's what happens. It is what it is. But okay, we'll move along because we had one big topic. We want to talk about the value of gaming, how prices have changed and this and that. But then the news gods provided and basically told us about this odd story about Netflix getting into bed with Xbox. And this news came up, and we were like, and we spoke about it. There was, in certain circles, people were like, oh, pump your brakes. They're fulfilling a role that Google used to fill, and now they're filling it with Microsoft, which is technically true, right? They've always had AWS, has always, and I understand for those out there who are like, this is not game related. Trust us, it'll get there. Relax, you'll get there, right?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing they're filling this out, and we're like, people started scratching their beards and started going, interesting, right? And then we saw this news come out. And Everborn Saga, I will let you lead this because you brought this to my attention. Go ahead, good sir.
Well, I would also like to point out that while everybody was talking about Microsoft should buy WB and do all these other things, I said Satya Nadella many times has said he's not really interested in hopping into one of those kind of things because for Microsoft, they're a technology company. They don't really care about dealing with movie theaters and doing all those other things and all that other overhead that you have to have when you have a Hollywood studio. But Netflix does more than any other sort of movie studio. They're more so a technology company than anything else, right? That's what they've transitioned themselves into. And something like that would make a lot more sense for Microsoft. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, we know that AWS is the #1 cloud provider in the world. Yes, we
absolutely. Yep.
Azure is I don't know if it's a close second, but they're the second largest provider. But part of the reason AWS is #1 is because they are the technology partner for Netflix. So when you're streaming your movies on your phone, PC, wherever the hell else, your refrigerator, your Tesla, all that, it's coming from Amazon, the Amazon cloud. Now, another thing with Netflix is a lot of people are worried about whether they're going to be profitable, whether the business model is sustainable. The reason they aren't sustainable as it stands today and why they have to do things like introduce an ad tier to bring more people in is because their technology costs are so high.
AWS ain't cheap.
Right? It's not the production. It's not the content production. It is the because there's other ways to monetize that stuff, right? It is what they're paying for technology. Now, what Microsoft could do in a situation like this is, let's say that they were to make a deal like this happen. They could take away effectively a large majority of the technology costs. Obviously, you have to pay the employees, but it's not the same as paying for a service. So you basically bring that in-house. And Kay, you know this, a migration like this from Amazon, from AWS to Azure would take maybe a decade in terms of moving everything over. Fine. But you now have solved Netflix's money issue because they actually
overnight make no bills, no more AWS bills.
Well, it'll take a decade.
Well, not overnight, but yes, I'm sure there's an on ramp at least to a day where you no longer have to pay that bill. Yes,
right. They make way more revenue than they pay out for content production. It's really the technology cost that's causing that. So if you can take that away, that business model works. Today they have 220 million subscribers. And the relationship has always been close. You remember this. The first place you could do the instant stream on Netflix was the 360. Netflix used to run off of Silverlight. Now it's HTML5.
Yes. So, and let's be absolutely clear here that at that time, Netflix wasn't convinced. That's why only B movies were on there. Microsoft literally created their new business model for them. And then they realized, hey, this is better than actual DVDs in the mail. And they were off to the races. Right. So they literally, I'm actually, I said this to you before, Everborn. I'm surprised they ended up with AWS. Although, at that time, AWS was far more ready than any other company to take on such a massive traffic on the internet. But yeah, Microsoft literally created the business model that has kept them successful until now. Right. Streaming is the way. Right.
I'll tell you what I do for work, though, literally is cloud migrations. If I just want this thing to happen, just because I would go over there, I could probably retire off of that. That's what me and Pixelbit G was saying that. But anyway, so the thing is, for the
good morning, Mag. Good morning, good sir. He's here for Charge Them More talk. We getting there, sir.
We're coming in. So on the Microsoft end, you have now access to 220 million subscribers that you could grow, but there are synergies there, right? So one, you're saving Netflix money. They get to continue to produce it. You have this mega subscription service, right? Closing in on 250 million subscribers that can only go up from there. And now that is a pool of 200 and whatever million people that you can try to sling Game Pass to, right? Have a bundled subscription. And I want you to think about this. You now have an in-house studio that can turn all your transmedia IP into TV shows. Right?
Mr. Cheeks, I should say,
Mr. Cheeks from the Lost Boys.
Master Cheeks may not happen next time. Hey, don't do that deep cut. Not too many people understand the Lost Boys.
But if you know, you know. If you know, you know. You know. So anyway, I say that to say, imagine a world where you're watching the next season of The Witcher and you say, hey, would you like to play the new Witcher game? Click, and now you're playing it
in there,
right? Right. And now imagine a world where Netflix is turning Call of Duty and Banjo-Kazooie,
Band of Brothers,
and all those things, Halo, all those things into TV shows on Netflix. There's synergies there. You could grow. Excuse me.
So is your take that this is definitely happening? And
I have no idea whether it's going to happen. I have no idea whether it's going to happen, but it should. And selfishly, for my own career, I hope that it does.
You hope it does. and let's be clear here. And somebody asked me on Twitter. We were having a back and forth about it. That would be about $100 billion cost
today. Oh, one thing I also wanted that I left out. Netflix is like a third of the price.
If you see their trajectory, it's right at that ABK level where somebody's like, oh baby, you know.
Today, they were worth 200 billion at one time. Today, or last I checked on Friday, 79 billion, and they're still falling.
Oh, it is actually not bad today. Look at this. It's not bad. But yeah,
what's the market
where
cap?
They used to be? Market cap is 102 or something like that?
No, it's not. Check the market cap. It was 79 billion when I checked on Friday.
Okay. So it has dropped significantly. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So the point is, and that's why they're saying this could be $100 billion deal, because you have to consider the markup that you'd have to pay. And that's based on today. But the price is still falling. Netflix could go as low as 70 billion, right?
Yep.
And then you throw another 30 on top of that, boom, get the deal done. And now Microsoft, listen, all of Microsoft's major competitors, Amazon, Apple, Google has YouTube, but you know what I'm saying? They all have video services.
They all have some kind of competitor,
right?
Yeah.
So obviously they're not in that business for shits and giggles and charity, right? So so it would make sense.
Absolutely.
Would make sense.
Today, Netflix's market cap is $84.2 billion.
It went up. Maybe it went up because of this article.
But yeah, no, but that is a very interesting place for it to be.
So last thing I'll say is Microsoft could do this nearly in all cash if it's $100 billion deal, and no one else could do. Apple couldn't buy Netflix. You know why? Because they have a streaming service already, and you're talking. Microsoft is not in this area right now. So how could regulators push back on it? And they both have synergies that will help them grow and be better for the market. So Amazon can't buy them because, again, they have
a competitor.
Right. Because that's like, what is that? A horizontal merge or vertical, whatever it is. The point is, like, the other people who would want it are not in a position to get it, either from a regulatory standpoint or a monetary standpoint. If Netflix is open to being acquired, Microsoft is the one to do it.
And real quick for the ponies in the room,
going to end up buying it because
for the ponies in the room, real quick, $101 billion. That is Sony's market cap today. So they can't do it. Let's just say it would have to be a merger. They could not purchase. So there's that.
Yeah,
guys, a lot of interesting revelations in recent days regarding this. When you first saw this, what was your take on it?
I mean, it's quite speculative. You got the analysts saying that a lot of this ad agreement, he went on a bit of a leap there, using the ad agreement as sign that Microsoft is trying to position itself to acquire this, and then only after the ABK deal is done. And for Netflix, this makes a lot of sense. For Microsoft, in a lot of ways, it also makes a lot of sense. 89 billion or whatever is not something to balk at. If you think the Xbox Activision Blizzard deal is going to be having the regulators working overtime, this one is going to really make them work. But then the question was, like you embraced Everborn, what's the anti-compete rule there? Because you've already got competitors in the space. As a gamer, though, what is Netflix going to do? The closest thing I could think of is what you mentioned, Everborn, about you play Netflix, the game is there, boom, you just press play and you're cloud streaming it. That kind of integration with cloud would be incredible. Then you've opened up Game Pass gateway to a whole load of people that you just untapped. They need some thought. You need a controlling device and all of that. And also Xbox would need some thought as well on how to integrate a game per Netflix. I also like the idea of all these video game IP now having their own Netflix originals on thing, but if you believe, or if Microsoft really does believe in this whole metaverse, the metaverse thing, then this is the kind of thing you want to position yourself to future-proof. It's all about controlling people's minds and mind share and in entertainment, and they have a massive boost into the living room just with Xbox alone. But now with Netflix, you've pretty much covered and even I would be a bit worried, a bit monopolistic Microsoft coming in to control or having stakes in all forms of the main kind of media that I enjoy, say for music. So it's like movies or games.
Give them time. They might pick up Spotify.
And so they'll pick up Spotify, and then that's it. We're just literally Blade Runner 2049 is real. As long as you make those Anna de Armas holograms, I won't care. But yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting. It's all come from, I mean, it's an interesting talking point. I don't know. I need something more substantive than an analyst saying that Netflix is trying to get closer to Microsoft. And I also take on board what you said about Santi, about Microsoft kind of showing and guiding Netflix in the original days to where the streaming service actually is now. They have a close relationship with all these acquisitions. One of the main common unifying theme is with Microsoft anyway. There's a pre-existing relationship, and so it's not out of the realms of possibility. But this would be a mega move, the likes of which we haven't seen in a very long time. I mean, this is a far more earth-shattering than APK.
Absolutely.
And one other thing, I think it would, in terms of footprint at least, and web traffic, it would make Azure the number one cloud provider in the world.
Yeah, automatically.
So there's different levels to this than just gaming. Gaming is like icing on the cake. This is like
one thing.
Right. This is cloud. And again, Satya mainly, he came up in the cloud division. So that's his baby. That's his thing. And I'd argue Xbox is only getting all this investment because Phil sold Satya on the cloud. So I think this would be right along the lines of what Satya might be interested in. But then they'd have to convince Amy Hood.
So we love our conspiracy theories on this show, and usually the conspiracy theories are usually one-sided. Mr. Everborn Saga puts on the tinfoil hat, and we all sit back and start chewing the popcorn. Let me present you my conspiracy theory, okay? And this is a short one, but this came to mind while this whole thing developed, okay? Every time Microsoft has made either an investment, they've made a purchase, or they've made some kind of deal, either they've hired an employee, they've sent an employee, something. There's always a canary in the coal mine way before it happens. And later on, you go, dang it, we should have seen it happening.
Even the Riot Elop clause is what you're talking about.
There you go, the Stephen Elop clause. Indeed. Even the Riot Games deal thing. Do you know how many Riot Games employees are now Microsoft employees? That happened a while beforehand. And we were like, this is weird. Why is a bunch of like Microsoft guys are going over to Riot Games? And then the deal happened, and you're just like, So, on this note, in March 2021, a gentleman by the name of Marcus Waltenberg, director of partner marketing at Netflix, became an Xbox/Microsoft employee.
Wow.
And directly in the same line of the whole marketing, that's where the deal happened, right? Hey, we're now the marketing partner in technology and marketing. Yeah. A year ago, a little bit less than a year ago, they basically brought over a Netflix marketing executive. Take with that what you will. But it continues that weird tradition. I'm just saying. Even Blizzard. What happened with Blizzard? Every time you hear they've
Ferguson, Mikey Barra.
You know what I mean? Like, this is what happens. So we shall see. When you start seeing their employees spreading their wings and going elsewhere, you should start looking at them like, who they purchased?
I need them to send Sarah Bond to go apply for a job at Sega.
I knew that was coming. A show will not end without Mr. Everborn Saga referencing the purchase of Sega. But I understand. So okay,
admirable.
Okay, listen, my tinfoil hat theory is absolutely ridiculous. It's just absolute coincidence. But I'm just saying the tea leaves are there. You've seen it happen. It's happening again. I'm just
saying. So Gaz, you may not know this, but I would trade a Sega acquisition for an ABK acquisition in a heartbeat. The first thing I said when it was announced was, how many Segas did this cost?
It's like that commercial. How many burgers? Like, absolutely.
Wow.
Well, how many Segas and most of the other like publishing environments?
I'll tell you, it costs 79 billion Segas times 3. I mean, it's the Segas. I don't know what. Sega over ABK.
Yes.
Whatever you're smoking, you need to pass that to me because that sounds pretty mad.
Next time I'm in the UK, I'll bring you some.
Come, please do. It's illegal here. Please bring some.
Hey, Gaz is not joking.
I see Victor, look, man, I hang out with Everborn. It rubs off on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I usually don't tend to be in that space, but hey, you know. Yeah. And of course, shout out to Beast Mode 1. He said it cost 20 Segas. Damn. That's a lot of Segas. I'm sorry.
Now it feels personal. They're just not buying Sega just to get at me.
Just to get at you, just because they hear you constantly wanting it, and they're like, we'll save it for another day. Maybe we'll get Embracer Group to buy Sega, and then we'll buy them later.
Yeah.
All right. Let us move on to what we're here to actually talk about. Okay. Now, this thing has been a conversation for some time. It's been a conversation. I would dare say this has been a conversation since the cartridge days, when it was way more than it is now. But more and more, like, it's standardized for quite some time. There was, as this old story suggests, there was 15 years of stable gaming pricing in the market. That's what it was. 15 years, $60 games, right? And then all of a sudden, with the next gen, and you can blame it on who you want. There's rumors that Sony had meetings with Take-Two and EA and a bunch of folks, and I think. If those rumors are correct, I thought I heard, and please forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I thought I heard Grubb mention that at some point they were trying to float $80, but that didn't work. Some of them pushed back. But ultimately $70 was the price that they opted for. I think Take-Two was the first publicly to pull the trigger on that. EA followed suit. Obviously PlayStation's following suit. Ubisoft have we seen $70 games from Ubi yet? Because they were kind of wishy-washy in the beginning, but we knew they would eventually pull the trigger on that. But yes, here we are. It's become a fever pitch this week, where you have one side of the house saying, I will never pay for $70 games. You have another side of the house saying, look, man, gaming is expensive. I wouldn't even try. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even try. Everborn came to me. And for those who've given me props in the chat and on Twitter all these days for the slanderous thumbnail I put together and the title, that all came from Everborn. I put it together, but he was like, look, I need the shut up and give me my money meme, but I want to charge them more on the bottom. This is what he said to me. That's what I made happen. So he's been out there, I think, in spaces and just throwing it out there, like having conversations left and right about the value of gaming, basically. I know Slow-Mo has been talking about it. A lot of people have been talking about it. So, Everborn, how about you kick us off? How did this all start? Where are we with this? And what is exactly the problem? Like, where do you fall in the $70 games conversation?
Okay, here's the thing, right? And I feel like a lot of people try to either dumb down or completely vilify what I'm trying to say here. I think a price of obviously value is subjective, and obviously people are going to buy what they see value in. Those are table stakes. That's not a thing that you need to mention, right?
I agree with that. Continue. Yeah.
What I don't understand is if someone is saying, because again, we can call this inflation, we can call it whatever we want. If someone says, hey, prices are going up and I don't like it, and then you have like 5 people run into your thread telling you don't understand the industry and macroeconomics and game prices haven't gone up for this amount, and you have to consider the KPIs and the P&L variables, and you have to understand that it costs this much, and production costs have skyrocketed, and they just need to keep the lights on, and something support the devs.
But devs need to be paid,
right?
Man.
So my thing is, right, and Gaz, I'm going to ask you a question. When you go to the auto deal, matter of fact, when you go to your local appliance shop and you're buying a refrigerator, are you thinking about how much GE or Whirlpool, what their P&L balance sheets look like? Or are you just saying, no, I'm a goddamn customer and I want to get the best price?
I never care. Unless it's an indie developer, I won't care about what their wallets are about. I don't care. Never. factor in. I care about how much money I'm saving when I'm buying something.
Right. So this and what is also odd to me, you have the same people that will rightly and righteously say, hey, what they're doing with these microtransactions in Diablo Immortal is predatory. What they're doing with Overwatch is not good. Those $20 cat ears in Halo, they're just trying to charge you for stuff, even though it's optional. They see that. They're not saying that these other studios, they're not saying Ubisoft has to make money. It is only, and I believe we're only having this conversation about the $70 price tag because people are madly, truly, and deeply in love with Sony. Right?
It's definitely weighted on the whole console war angle. If you look at the people defending it en masse, it's a lot of PlayStation hardcore fanboys. The people attacking it, a lot of Xbox fanboys, plus maybe some others as well. So there's a definite. Let's be real here. There's a whole console war slant there, but to me, I find the hypocrisy astounding. I find the call to stop people from bringing up the topic astounding. Someone made a meme of Paris Lily, who had just recently bought a Tesla, and he kind of ignited this whole debate, saying he doesn't think The Last of Us 2 remake is worth 70. I actually agree with him. Tesla or no Tesla, I agree with him.
Why is the Tesla relevant, Gaz?
It's an ad hominem attack to try and deride.
There is a Tesla owner and driver on this panel, so every time anybody says anything about Tesla, it's like,
oh no, I was out there me. Like Jordan. I was like, and I took that personally.
Yes, he did. So what if I drive a Tesla? I'm trying to save a little dough. What?
Yeah, I mean, Paris Lily has come out and said, like, so I'm a cheapskate. I don't like paying for games, and then publicly, which I find a bit dodgy. He's just like, hey, you got review codes for me? And I'm like, what's your review gonna be like? So that's personally me. I do call to question the journalistic integrity there, but if he does call himself a journalist, but then he's in spaces and he does respond, so there's accountability there. I think the whole comment about him being the Tesla thing is weaponized. I mean, just because you bought a Tesla doesn't mean he's precluded from talking about the value of games or what the value proposition of The Last of Us remake that has seen multiple iterations. You've got the remaster and this game, and it's got no multiplayer. So how are you justifying? And I fully with him. I was in a space with him.
That part, I'm right with you. You say what you will, you are getting half of what you originally got, and they're charging you more for it. That's just what is happening there, you know.
And that's why The Last of Us is such an egregious one for me. I'm like, wait, you're making this again? I mean, you're remaking this. We've experienced the remaster, we've experienced the other game. Oh, you don't have the multiplayer? And Paris is absolutely right. Until you show us what we're paying for is more than just a visual upgrade, it's going to call to question the value of this game where you are charging more than your competitors. Until Microsoft follows suit. And my concern is Microsoft does follow suit because the pressure in the industry's kind of adopted this en masse, and the $70 thing becomes a thing. I find it weird that people would cap for that. That people would go bend over backwards to just get shafted to accept it because they're PlayStation. So you can guess what my next Source video is about. So yeah, it's just stupid.
So here's the thing.
What does one have to do with the other? But okay, I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna go play Sonic Mania in the Tesla when I get
in the Tesla, yeah, because you can do that from the steering wheel.
So my and you know, to your point, Gaz, and I said this. I almost hope that Xbox does raise the price to $70 because then we can all actually be in the same boat and have an actual productive conversation about what's happening. Because if you step back and you see what's going on, it is people that are digging their heels in. Right? So I'm a PlayStation fan, and there is a difference, right? There's a difference in first party. So one charges 60, the other one charges 70, whatever they can, right? And so I don't want to hear my Xbox brothers in Christ say to me, "Oh, look, you're getting hosed and the value's over here. So now I have to turn around and say, oh, I have to pay for greatness, and you're broke, and you drive a Tesla, and the inflation and KPIs and all these things,
yes,
right?" And so I now have
my question, Everborn, my question, and you are right on the money. My quick question to that is, if that is where we need to follow them because that's where they want to go, oh, they're paying for greatness. So when inevitably Microsoft does start charging $70 for games, which it's inevitable, at some point we will see it happen. Maybe when ABK becomes solid, because they're not going to drop those prices down, it will set a standard. Maybe, we don't know. At some point that may happen. My question is then, should we start expecting to hear from our brothers on the other side, as it were, that now the game should cost $80? Because hey, they're paying for greatness, right?
It depends on what.
Hey, when Netflix costs you more, HBO has to go up because Netflix is Netflix and HBO is greatness.
Yeah. Right, and here's the thing: the same people will complain and tell you that Netflix is raising prices, and that's why they're in trouble. The same people will tell you they'll tell you everything else is too expensive or more expensive. Why do we come here? And then they will tell you Sony's charging the right price and the fair market value, and Adam Smith's invisible hand of the market will come save us all, right? The thing is, when did we lose the thread that companies don't always have your best interest at heart? Shouldn't there be contentious relationship?
Don't always?
You know what I'm saying? Right? So, in my view, there should be a contentious relationship between the seller and the buyer. That's what a haggle is cost. But if we're just bending over backwards and say, listen, charge me what you want, it's okay that you raise the price, then why should they ever try to do anything where they have to meet that supply and demand curve, right? So I say this is where it was born. The hashtag charge them more, because they're not going to feel it until maybe they're paying $120 for games, right? And this is not, it's not about $70 games, and people keep trying to go back to that and simplify my argument. I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care what the game costs. I bought Ratchet and Clank and Returnal for $70, right? Obviously, I didn't want to wait, so I bought them. I get it. I just saw Thor, right? I paid almost $40 for 2 regular tickets, right? I'm in New York, right? So that wasn't IMAX. These are regular tickets. Obviously, I saw value in the MCU, so I wanted to see Thor, so I paid it. But guess what? I didn't come back to Twitter like, well, Disney got to make their money because they struggling over there and the lights might go off, right?
They need some cash, you know what I mean?
It's just, what are we doing? Right? It doesn't matter. I get it. You care about the industry, but that's not why. And most people that say that, they don't really care. That's not why we're having this conversation. We're having this conversation, if we really boil it down, because some people, a lot of very vocal people, just don't want to admit that maybe their favorite platform did something wrong.
And that's the worst part. Like, to me, that when you defend it that badly and you can't substantiate your argument, one of which is, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's just the most moronic statement. That's just completely without any substance. Then that means everyone should just be side-eyeing you anytime you even open your mouth, if critically, and discuss because people are saying don't talk about it. Let's stop talking about it. That pisses me off when someone says stop talking about this. Like, what, us getting shafted in prices because you just like to just not apply Vaseline to yourself? Nah, man, that's just nonsense, bro. People need to be called out. That's why I like, there are some surprising people, like they normally quite sound or think they have reasonable views, but it's so obviously driven by console allegiances. And if Xbox does it, I want to see the Xbox people who are so mouthy as well Just call that out. You need to have the same energy. If you don't have the same energy, you can get murked.
I think that and I do believe they will, because I don't think Activision is lowering any prices.
Hell no.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think that.
And I think that the reason they haven't raised prices right now is because they don't really have the big IP to do it. If they start hitting their stride, and they can, I think they absolutely will. Microsoft is not your friend. They don't call it show friends, it's show business, right? So, but I do believe that when that happens, people will actually get together. And both of you guys in the chat, tell me, how many times when we weren't too busy arguing with each other and we agreed on something that we didn't like, immediately we've seen both of these companies turn around and change it. The only person who's not going to listen to you is Nintendo. But
that's what you're describing there. We hear you, man. We hear you while spending their money. You're absolutely right, Evermore. And what you're saying there, right there, that is why I feel like these conversations are so important, because I feel like we need to be educating people to be like, look, the more you stand side by side with your brothers, the sooner you can get some of these things to turn around. But people are too busy, like, being puppets in this play. It's just quite interesting to me. It's absolutely interesting to me. Shout out to Fuzzy Belvedere. This this comment is absolutely. It's not about the increase. When they took away instruction manuals, did you see a decrease in pricing on that one? Obviously not. Right. You know, and also, to his point, digital games. Why are digital games priced the same as physical?
Well, no, there's actually a reason for that, and it's not cost.
Oh no, I know why that is.
Parity with the retail shops, or they won't.
That's right.
Carry
they don't want that to be the case. But remember, they did that on GameStop. They did counteract that narrative on GameStop, where if you help sell our consoles, moving forward, anything that's purchased, you get a cut from that console. Right, so that needle was thread, and they were able to get away with it. And GameStop has been.
I would like to see how that plays out in practice.
We shall see. Yes. But at the end of the day, though, you know, it still does not. The idea, and I see folks in the chat saying so, and I completely agree. The idea that our costs are going up, so your cost is going up. That is such hogwash. That is the dumbest thing that you will believe. And the minute you start saying that, you're basically like walking down the path to making all of our games cost more. Because why should you agree with the company that's trying to take more out of your pocket?
Yeah.
Why should you do that? That just makes no actual sense to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Evan. You were saying.
And the only $70 games that I have bought were games that were published by Sony. Why? Because typically those games don't have a lot of microtransactions. But look at Battlefield 2042. They took away the campaign. All they gave you was multiplayer. So you basically have half a product, $7.
So I will clown you on one thing, though, Everborn. And he didn't do it, but I got to bring it up. When this whole Horizon Forbidden West thing came out, right? And I'm on this show advocating, look, this is the last game you're going to get at a low price.
I need you to give full context when you explain this.
This man was convinced that at some point Sony was going to find you. You pay $10 less, we're going to find you somehow, like ransom the $10 back. And I don't want to be part of that nonsense. So he wants to pay $70 for jump.
I said I didn't want to deal with the nonsense, so I was going to pay it. And this is not because I'm defending Sony, it's because I don't trust
because
them.
He's been trained. He's been taught by Sony that, look, if you try to find a way around what we're doing, we're going to get you. And he's not wrong, because look what happened with the whole subscription thing. You know, if you were able to finagle your way into a good deal, if you got your PlayStation Now cards, they were like, nah, bro, we're going to keep your thing on ransom until you pay the difference. This is what they did, right?
Also, we are coming to a time where a lot of these games, first of all, they're making more revenue than ever, and they're having higher profit margins than ever. You're paying attention to the profit margins.
Yep.
But also, those profit margins are driven by microtransactions. You didn't have those before, so there's other avenues for them to make money. But again, even going down that avenue is past where I want to go, because I'm just saying You, me, everybody listening, we're consumers here.
Yep.
The bottom line of the company is not your problem.
Yeah.
If Game Pass is never profitable, as long as I have that subscription and I have access to those games, I don't care. I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella are sleeping on yachts right now. Right?
Yep.
So why am I making it my business to spend more of my hard-earned money when I don't have to? Right? So
yeah.
it's weird. It's this weird kind of corporate but fan-driven cheek bussing is what I'll call
it. Okay. Gaz.
It is cheap, but it's true. Cheek clapping from Shui Shida. It's I mean, I'll cover it in my source video, but I find that that like you if you're gonna do this and die on this hill, then to me that shows that you can't be trusted to make sound financial decisions. And this is coming from a guy who spent over £1,000 on Apex Legends like loot boxes. Like, I'm terrible with my money. I hold my hand up like there was terrible. If an Apex Legends didn't even get my value worth.
How much did you pay for the Apex Legends game?
I mean, it's free to play.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but exactly. I mean, my poor financial decisions don't mean that when I do count or call to question this practice, that it's somehow deteriorated because of.
No. My point on that is how is it? There's a world now where a full-fledged, highly polished, quality game like Apex Legends comes out for free because they know if you like it and you enjoy it so much, you have the option of paying, and you can choose to do so. You can choose not to do so, and that is well within your right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So exactly.
But
absolutely.
To take the talking points of the narrative to say that, oh well, you know, the what do you call it? The prices, the budgets, the AAA budgets are going up, so we have no choice but to practically
BS. No, it's
not
BS. It's making money. It's not even
you.
To do with inflation. It's just basically they want to make more money.
There is no technical reason for higher cost today versus the 360 generation. No technical reason, none whatsoever.
I mean, we had the publisher from No More Robots come in and literally said it makes no sense. It's just taking the mick. It's literally like my PlayStation trying to adopt the Nintendo approach of getting away with how much they can charge. And you know, it's weird because people say, look, oh, it's a multiplayer only game. Why are you charging full price? Well, my argument is it's a single player only game. Why are you charging full price if you adopt that mentality? Value is subjective. If you want to spend $70 on that, that's fine.
Let's be absolutely clear here. That multiplayer game, 10, 20, 15 years from now, you won't be able to play that game because the servers will be shut off. You won't.
Well, hopefully. Well,
whereas single player games, as long as they make it correctly and don't make it server contingent, you will one day be able to put that game in a disc sometime, and us old school retro cats can still make use out of that. Apex Legends will eventually go away one day, hopefully not anytime soon. Never. And it'll just be vapor. It'll be gone because it lives somewhere else, and you're just paying to access it. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
So all of that matters here. When people are talking about, well, costs have increased, so we need to charge you more, and it just makes it's almost like you're drinking the Kool-Aid. There is no sound ground to stand on. You know,
it's not even drinking. You've literally got injecting it straight into your body, not even looking for your veins, bro. It's just like, okay. When people do that and then said stop it, and I'm like, okay, that means you've literally shut yourself out of this whole of debates regarding value and pricing forever, unless you bring it up again. Where you said that with loot boxes and microtransactions, and that look at that. So these are the arguments: inflation and all this nonsense. Yes, they just can get away with more charging you more money. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I mean, like that means this, like, if you don't talk about it, just don't buy it. You have a choice not to buy it. They can charge you £1,000, don't buy it. Yeah, these are the same people who would cry about loot boxes and free-to-play mechanics and predatory practices that we've seen have funded the industry. People have made quite lucrative kind of almost gambling mechanics in there as well. So what's left then? It's like, oh, I perceive the value. Fine, you perceive it. We don't. And The Last of Us 2 remake represents the most egregious example of it. That's why I brought up, because I initially saw, I mean, even most hardcore PlayStation guys, well, some of them say, oh, $70, no multiplayer, less content, and it's a remake. We just got a remaster. It's like, what if we ratify the Last of Us 2 remake? That means you've just given the green light for all kinds of pricing.
So I saw some folks trying to counteract that narrative by saying, well, look at the what is it? The Psychonauts 2 did a special release, a limited edition special release for $70 with extra
physical release.
Physical release, yes. It was limited edition, but it's a physical release, and there's $70. It's $70, and it has extra, stuff included in the package. It's not quite deluxe edition stuff with statues and whatnot, but there's some extra things that they throw in there, and it's $70. And people are going, see, how about now? Are you people gonna? Are we gonna be able to have a conversation now because they're doing $70?
Again, that's where we come back to that stupid whataboutism bullcrap.
The $60 version still exists. The $60 version can still be bought today.
I cannot defend the idiotic point I'm trying to make, so I have to divert your attention to somewhere else.
The goalpost moving and whataboutism doesn't help. It just quickly shatters.
But this is why I say, and the message you are giving to these corporations who are not your friends is they're
title of the show.
Up. So charge them more. At what point do you realize what exactly is happening? Since you're paying for quality, or if you don't like it, don't buy it. Maybe Spider-Man 2 should be $99.95.
This is what I'm talking about, right? Xbox should start charging $70 for games, and then Phil Spencer should come out and say, "Look, hey, we understand the costs are going up everywhere, but you know what? If you don't like it, here's Game Pass. That's not changing. There's your game subscription service. We got you." And then we all, as people who are on the other side of the argument, should start going, well, when is PlayStation going to start charging $80 for games? Because they're greatness. We need to see, because if they're the same price as the other guy, then that devalues the item you're buying, right? Then God of War is just not God of War anymore, because it's only $70 when the other thing that you consider cheap is $70. So if $70 is the new floor that everybody can agree to, then PlayStation now must charge $80. Is that the logic? Is that the leap we're going?
I mean, the way people are talking about it, the way their fans are talking about it, yes. Why not?
Which is the stupidest thing I have ever. That's like,
they're happy.
Man,
they're happy.
Shell gas prices, man. Shell is better than any of the other gases. So, man, Shell, come on now. I'm only charging what? I'm only getting what? $5 for this? No, charge me $7.
And
because,
I just want to point out, I had people on Twitter that told me, because I am a small business owner, I make and sell comic books, or create and sell comic books, whatever, that I should never raise my prices, right? Or they told me I should give back my car because instead of complaining about this, because I spend money on other things. And I'm like, what are we doing? So I don't like the price of a game, I should walk to work, right?
Yeah, nonsense.
Like
nonsense.
So I don't know.
I see about the people who can afford Tesla's thing. Anybody who says that, if you can buy this, then you have no right to. That tells me, one, you there's some gap between your knowledge there, and secondly, it's most likely you've never met anyone who makes any amount of money. Because if you've met someone who makes any good amount of money, you have met the most frugal human being on earth. Yeah. They do not do a quarter of the shit that you, and that's my one, that you spend your needless money on. Thank you, guys. Right? They're not waiting in line for the first iPhone. No, they have that. Like, I know a dude who makes more money than God. Like dude lives in New York. He's a photographer. You know, he takes photos of the who's who of everyone. Oh, where is he? He's in Ibiza taking pictures of some famous person. That's him. He has an iPhone like 3, like to this day. Like, you know, and I sat down and spoke to him one day, and he's just like, look, if you want money, you got to keep money. That's the key here. You want it, you got to keep it. It's not like, oh, I want to be wealthy, or I want, you know, so because of that, I have money. So, oh yeah, give me that star-studded, you know, I'll take the phone that has extra jewels on it just because. Like, what is that? Like, I don't understand that threading.
I told somebody I bought the Tesla with all the money I saved on Game Pass.
You know, and for those who clown Tesla owners right now, don't you wish you were one today in today's day and age?
Hold on a minute, Keisante. If you don't like gas, don't buy
it. Yep.
You know, and then my car will just turn into a paperweight and sit there. You know, walk to work. That's right.
Yeah.
I just this whole thing has just been. I've just been sitting back. I could get all hyperbolic and crazy, but I've been watching Everborn do it on my behalf, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And guys, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can come up with in this sauce video, because
there's ammo there.
You have the ability of saying things that we need said in the best way possible.
I appreciate it.
Oh man. So okay. Chat, we've been going on about this. We're in vigorous agreement here on this show, right? This is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Everborn I think we're all on the same page. Anybody who thinks it's not, and I really want a genuine opinion on it, because you know I cannot fathom the idea that everyone that is fighting the good fight on the other side are literally just plebes and PR interns for PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? I can't. That just cannot be. So I would love to hear a genuine take, right? Because I will tell you definitively, there is no technical reason. No technical reason. One of the greatest, most in-depth, most like lucrative, complicated games that were made out there. We're talking Halo Infinite. That is being sold at like $30. They gave it to you free on Game Pass. One of the most technical, demanding games that eventually became a big, there was a lot of money in that budget, guys. A lot, whether it showed on screen or not, that's a whole other conversation.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
but they put a lot into it. So you'd think, we put a lot into it. We're going to do Nintendo. Yeah. It's going to be $70 forever. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Cyberpunk 2077, considered by many to be one of the most technically demanding games, to the point where it broke last gen for a long time. Right? You could buy that thing for $30 now. Right. So if that tangibility, if that idea of, we have to recruit our costs because, it costs so much and it's just so difficult, we don't know what to do. If that was the case, then why are these AAA games that with the cost of with just a little passive time, or if they sit there and they go, it looks like nobody's really going to buy it. All right, well then just drop the price and see if more people really. Would it be that simple? If it costs that much and it was that difficult to give you that price, to give you the right price point. It's just they've realized, at least from what I can see, they've realized that, hey, some of the people take our word hook, line, and sinker. You know, SSDs can compensate for graphic fidelity. Some people take our lines hook, line, and sinker. We say this and they go, well, they said it, so it's gospel now. So what's the next gospel we're going to feed you?
This happens across the board. There's a lot of people that believed a lot of, Halo hype and Xbox marketing, right? People just listening, and which is fine. I understand what it means to be a fan. I understand what it means to be the benefit of the doubt. And if you're happy to pay for something, go ahead and pay for it. But don't go around telling other people, hopping on their threads. They're not coming to you. You're coming to them, telling them how dare they point out that they don't like price increases. Right? So that's my thing. How about if you're okay with egregious price hikes, you buy it and you shut up about it.
And you shut your mouth about it.
And you let us complain.
That's right. Because maybe one day our complaints will end up in benefiting your pocket, even though you don't care. What? If you really don't care, you can just, buy a game and give it to me, because clearly you don't care. But if you do, which I'm sure you do because you don't like spending so much money for your games. You're a human being like everybody else. If you don't feel like complaining, how about you just be quiet, let some surrogates complain for you in the hope that it'll eventually benefit your wallet instead of going out there and doing their job for them.
Does it need
we'll do the work. We're out here with the picket signs. We'll do the work for you. You don't got to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yes. Anything else you guys want to bring up on this topic before we wind down this show? This show is going to be a nice. Hey, we might actually make our 2-hour runtime this time. We usually go way over. Anything else that you guys think is pertinent to this conversation? What can we do? Rather than pointing out their hypocrisy and their ridiculousness, what can we do? Because at the end of the day, these are our gaming brothers and sisters, right? Here, I'm wearing the Xbox shirt. We tend to be Xbox first. We play PlayStation. Like I told you, I have 200 plus hours in Forbidden West. It is my game of the year. When Elden Ring wins, I will agree. I'm sorry?
PlayStation's the exclusive box.
The exclusive box. True. As is Nintendo. Well, okay, it was Nintendo until Switch, until Steam Deck came and kind of gave us a new option, but that's neither here nor there. But as it stands right now, we are gamers. We enjoy the games, and we don't want that world where 70 becomes the norm, and then 80 becomes the special edition, and then 90 becomes the deluxe edition, and 100 becomes the collector's edition, which is where they're trying to push this situation, right? Look at and not to call it out like egregiously, but look at God of War Ragnarok, right? The special edition, the deluxe edition costs $200, and you get a cardboard box.
Jeez.
Nicely printed, nicely shiny. Yes, it's true. They have Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. I'll be watching an interest to see how that looks and all of that. But you get a toy rendition of that and a cardboard box. Okay, I when it came out, I was just kind of Googling around. Instead of that, for $400, $200 more dollars, you get a replica, steel replica of Kratos' axe.
See, but I feel like that is that they're giving you something there, right?
No, I get that. But I guess my point I'm trying to make is they've always been giving you something with deluxe editions, right? But if the game is at 60, right, then your special edition's at 70. And then your deluxe becomes no more than 100, maybe 150, something. They push the boundaries, but they push it just far enough to, the collectors will like it, but hey, it's still in the realm of possibility. But if they get the games to be 70 as a standard, then your collector's edition are $250, right? And what are they giving you for it? A cardboard box, nicely painted cardboard box.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the world we want to live in? I think not. I think we're perpetually heading down a very vicious cycle at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Let's put it this way. Let me give these PC weirdos like Slow-Mo. Let me give them some credit, right?
Ooh, you gotta give him credit. Okay, let's see.
Not really him, just his
ilk.
Yeah. Not him specifically. I'm excluding.
Yeah, we heard you. Now speak.
These companies know that they cannot just go and charge PC gamers whatever they want. You know why? PC gamers, they will not have it. Right?
Yep. We will Jack Sparrow all over the place if you push us. That's right.
Right? Like, console gamers don't do that. They know we are in the bag. We're fans in a different way because we're arguing with the other side that we cannot find any fault because then we'd have egg.
Boy, you're gonna put my PCMR hat on. Don't go down that path. Oh boy.
This is the thing. If we behave more like PC gamers, maybe we wouldn't see some of this happen. But as long as we're so busy fighting each other, they're just going to dig in our pockets.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys will let you as long as you tell them they're better than Xbox guys, you can dig in their pocket all you want.
Whatever you want. That's right.
Keep incriminating yourself, Slow-Mo.
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna put this out here just like this, and just for those who see it, no. That's right. Absolutely. No, You're 100% right. 100% right. They know what they'll get away with because they it's a psychological thing. They know, oh, we're the generate. We decide what next gen is. Yeah, y'all are like Camry owners. You get the heated seats after it's been in the Tesla for a while. Like, I'm sorry. That's what you are. Like, and I'm part of that. I have a console. I love my console, but I know what I am when I'm playing my console. I am like, I'm enjoying that cool feature that came down to the Camry. I'm sorry.
You're superior when you're playing the console.
No, you're not superior. You're not. You are just being lulled into a false sense of security, so that later when they try to dig into your pockets,
how's that latest driver update going for you? Did you have to reinstall C++? Is that what happened?
Plus, what are you talking about? See, and I love how Everborn Saga likes to like code switch real quick because he is a developer among us all. He is an actual app developer and a game developer, so he knows what I'm talking about more than I know what I'm talking about. But he loves to switch the hat and go, "What? You have to install what driver? Huh? Yeah, okay, buddy. Go ahead, enjoy yourself." But no. I think we are all in rigorous agreement here. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to be the voice for the everyday Joe that doesn't have time for all of this. That's all.
Well, but that everyday Joe should also be that same guy who stands arm in arm with his brothers from all walks of life to say, "Hey, companies, keep your hands out my pocket." But it seems that everyday Joe, because he's an everyday Joe, the side effect of that is he can easily he's impressionable and can be indoctrinated into this weird world of take some more.
If Sonic Frontiers is $70, I'm gonna buy it.
Here we go. Oh no, Everborn. You see, you clown slow-mo, but he basically called it. You know what? And we'll hold you to that. Everborn, if it starts at $70 and you buy it, we're gonna expect blue face paint in celebration.
Absolutely no blue face paint, but I will buy it. But I will, and it's not about whether you will buy a $70 game. What you will not find me doing is someone who doesn't like the $70 price and telling you to shut up and just let him charge more money.
Don't worry, Slow-Mo. When he buys that $70 game and he shows up, we have some magic we can work on this side. When he shows up, he will be blue. Even his logo will be blue. We'll make it blue. We'll do the whole thing. He'll be Everborn Hedgehog Saga for that week. I'm sure. We'll figure it out. No worries. But no, okay. So I think we've had a great conversation here. I think we're all in agreement. And I would love, and this is a conversation that'll keep happening. Cartridges used to make games cost hundreds of dollars back in the day, and then they brought it back down. This is a conversation I think will come up over and over again as the gaming market changes, as we're now more and more into this world of next gen gaming, which also has this now subscription component to it as well.
Can you highlight J-Mo Money's last comment?
The man said Sonic Frontiers is going to cost more dollars than Metacritic scores. Oh my God, he's so right. Oh man. Oh, that is the comment of the day. Good job. All right.
Right.
Oh, that is why it's the comment of the day. I'm sure he's right. Like, what are we talking about here? This is amazing. Good job, sir. Good job. Wow. And when that happens, they will clown the hell out of you.
I'm gonna love the game. But
I'm sure you will.
I have no predilections about what the Metacritic score might be.
Yeah. If it's a strong 70, I'll be happy about that. If it's a strong 70, I'm hoping at least for that. We'll see. I would love to be, and let the record show, I would love to be wrong. And when I'm wrong, I will be glad for it. But I'm not sure I'll be wrong. We'll see. Have you seen, guys? Have you seen the? Because we are one half of a Sonic loving team in this year. I'm Sonic. I'm Sonic like. I like the old school more than the new. But Everborn is hoping for the return. What do you think of real quick before we go? What do you think of the trailers we've seen of the new Frontiers and all of that?
There's a lot of work to be had. We had this talk on the show. I want it to be good. I hope they can respond to feedback. I'm a massive Sonic fiend, bro. I always was Team Sonic. I just you would have to forgive me for having a little bit of. I don't know. I'm not dismissive, but I have apprehensions about Sonic Frontiers being good. it looked like a tech demo when they showed it off, and I was just like, "Yo, you got to fix this and add some source to this."
Friend of the show, Randall Thor, said it was a tech demo from a college student.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like an Unreal Engine like demo that someone like a one-man band does, so and I found that very surprising. But at the same time, there was a vibe to it as well. I liked the whole reality mixed with like the art palette was very like jarring because it was more realistic in some bits than the other.
Victor Alstein, I think this message here is for Everborn, and he will be very happy if and when that happens. So Game Gear 2024, it will be a Series S handheld. Oh boy!
When the Sega acquisition gets announced, if it's announced, I told everyone because I live in New York, I grew up in the Bronx. I'm gonna go to the steps that the Joker danced on. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker from the Joker movie.
He'll redo the whole thing. Dance. Now, will you do it? Will you do it in full Sonic the Hedgehog regalia?
At least the Sonic T-shirt.
Okay, we'll give you that. At least the T-shirt.
Well, listen, I could do a Sonic onesie.
Oh my God, I would pay to see that one. Come on,
yeah,
I would pay to see that one. Holy, all right. Okay. So let's round the bottom of this episode. It has been a fantastic conversation. Gaz, it has been awesome having you here. Next time we have to pick a topic where you and the rest of us disagree a bit, because I think we were in rigorous agreement on this show, which is good.
It's good, but sometimes you want some sauce. Plus, I'm running on 1 hour sleep as well, so forgive me. I had a late one yesterday. But I think
what you're here for. We appreciate you so much for being here.
No, man. I appreciate you both, man. And yeah, I agreed with everything you guys were saying, including Steam Deck. The pricing thing is just weird. And gaming news, while we did get some news, I'm still like, give us some more, bro, because right now it's like a bit of a lull. At least I've got the sauce to kill some ponies. But in the meantime, I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for inviting you.
Thank you for
the chat.
Thank you for being here. It's been awesome having you here.
Pleasure.
For those who are not aware, you must and start at the beginning. Don't just go watch the latest sauce. Start at the beginning, because every single one of them is just between you and the mag, I just like my weeks are just filled with amazing satire. Amazing. Like I need you and the mag to get together and do something, because that would be
happening.
That'd be amazing.
It's happening.
Every time something crazy happens in the community, I'm just like, I can't wait for the sauce. I don't even know what the sauce. I want to
see how he turns it in. Yes, very true. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, we love you around here. We can't wait to have you back. And shout out to Asa. Well, I've been also talking to him a little bit in the background. One of these days, we're thinking, and I too am a big VR head as he is. So maybe one of these days we'll get together and do interesting stuff there as well. But what? Everborn? What?
I fell asleep when you said VR. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. You fell asleep when I said the word V, and then R got you back up. Understood. But all right. I will put all the information in the show notes, all the Gaz information, both the YouTube channel, the aggregation site, which, hey, if you haven't been using it, Game On Daily is a great aggregation site. I actually use that to pull a lot of our stories from time to time, because all the great stories, all the hot stories bubble to the top. So it makes your job easier when you're looking for what's going on in news today. So, shout out to you and your team for continued. I don't know how y'all are able to do what you do on YouTube, which must require a lot of work, while still doing the site aggregation stuff, which is also very clean and well done. Shout out to you and your team, sir. It's absolutely awesome. Keep it up. We're big fans of yours, and we will definitely have you back. Mr. Everborn Saga, what else do you have going on this week? Are we going to see more from you? Am I going to continue having to clown you over and over again until one day maybe we talk about On the Reel again? I'll miss it, man.
I know. I you know what? Shout out to Luca and Slow Mo.
Yes, I heard that.
We did a spoiler cast for the boys. I got to tell you, man, I missed it. I missed the On the Reel doing that show. It was a good one.
And I'm a fraud because I have not finished watching the latest season of The Boys, so that's why I did not even watch the show. I will. I know it's out there. I know y'all did one. I have to finish watching, and then I'll double back, because I'm watching. The wife and I. The wife has never watched Stranger Things, oddly enough. So now we're literally binging it. We're on season 3 now. We started a week ago. So we're catching up because the wife is.
Do you have to pay for Netflix to watch it? Because it would be absurd if you did.
What?
I'm sorry.
I know where that comes from. We're not even going to dignify that stupidity, right? Oh man.
No, but we're doing the outros, right? Everborn Saga everywhere. Please go to everbornsaga.com. You can see the amazing comic books that we're producing in the world that we're putting together. And hopefully you'll see Everborn Saga at Comic-Con this year. And who knows, maybe Everborn Saga has a booth at E3 next year since Repop is doing it.
And on that note, we will warn y'all, we planning on doing E3 big next year. All of us. I don't know how you feeling, guys. I don't know how, we'll take
I'm there. I am 1,000,000,000,000%. If it's happening, I'm there. I'm there.
For sure. The saving has already started. The money is already being doled away. E3 will be big in 2023. In any form it takes, you will see us in person. I wanna like meet people in the flesh and press the flesh. Pause.
Just don't judge me for the madness. Because when I tell you, if you're there, the party is going to be insane.
It's going to be mad, bro. It's going to be absolutely mad, and we're excited about it. Like we've already started. The DMs are flying. We've been talking rooms and tickets and all of that. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're definitely doing it. So for y'all who are in the chat still, we appreciate you continue to be here. We appreciate all the support. We're heading close to our goal of this year. Please consider hitting that like button. We don't say it enough. Consider hitting the subscribe button. We're a small channel. We're not the monsters of Game On Daily, and so we appreciate when these
be there.
Men join us in our small spaces, in our small chat. So we're heading
on
our path.
Maybe pause. I don't know. Anyway, wait. You know what? Let me give before we go. I will give Slow Mo and Mr. Joanna Dark and JMO Money some Sonic ammo. What'll be higher? Sonic's frame rate or the Metacritic score?
Oh my God, come on. Okay, that one's just an easy one. Like, come on. And when that game comes out and it's great, you will eat your words, sir.
What I think is going to be amazing. I told people when they delayed Redfall and Starfield, I was going to be playing Sonic Frontiers anyway. So I'm not the person you got to sell on it. It's just
it is coming out in 2020. Oh boy. We shall see. It is coming out in 2022. I was hoping they'd push it back a couple so they could take that feedback. But by all intents and purposes, they say it's still coming out in 2022. So we hope that they took all that in and they can turn it around quickly. But we will. Yes. Slow-mo says definitely the frame rate's what's going to be higher, but by 5, he says. But yeah. We'll round out this bottom of this episode and say thank you guys so much for stopping by. Stop. We thank you so much for stopping by. It's going to be a great weekend. Hopefully next week we get more news, more positive things to chew on. Maybe more game announcements, things like that. But until next week, keep your eyes on the gaming streets. I know, Gaz, you and your team will be doing another show this weekend, so we'll be out there. You'll catch us in the chat if you haven't done that. Folks, you got to go check them out. They have a great show. They always have awesome guests. And of course, we'll see you also on XNC as a co-host. So, you'll be catching Gaz wherever you want to catch Gaz and his craziness. We appreciate you, sir. We appreciate you for being here. But until next week, have a good weekend and we'll talk again soon. Later, guys.